Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast, episode 351. So, yesterday we reached a lovely milestone of 50 weeks. So, we are roughly 2 weeks away of celebrating this blog and podcast's first anniversary. There is a little bit of wind here, so I hope that it does not impact the quality of the sound or my voice is heard properly. The last time I recorded it with the phone, it was unusually of nice quality, so fingers crossed this one will be too. And why fingers crossed? Because I don't edit those videos. They come as they are, as I recorded them. Partially it's because I want to be as authentic as possible. There's too many podcasts that are nicely edited in a home studio with the hours spent on, I don't know, Adobe Premiere or something else, Final Cut Pro, and people spend days to create a single podcast episode, or maybe hours, depending on how or what frequency their podcast is. So from one side I want authenticity, so there is not much editing. The only editing I usually do, if there is any, is I stitch two updates together, and that's it. So stitching is allowed. Now I'm just joking. If I would have skills, I would probably maybe add touch or two, but there's another side of this podcast that doesn't allow for a lot of editing, is because it is a daily update. So you can imagine that in case of daily journal updates, it is, well, the time is very limited, first of all, to even record the podcast. If you add up the fact that I need to upload it and describe it on YouTube and add some metadata on Spotify video as well, plus the blog post that I need to write and publish with embedded video once it's uploaded on YouTube, then you can imagine it's about 1.5 hours at least of work daily. And these days we don't have too much time at hand, so yeah, I need to choose the best of both worlds. So I prefer those videos outdoors because it seems like the phone and the natural light, they create much higher and better quality videos. They are more vivid, colorful, and I hope also enjoyable than the ones that I create at home. Because at home you have artificial light in the room, so indoors it's always a little bit darker, and the camera that I usually record with is built-in Mac camera, which is nowhere near what the iPhone has, regardless of the model. So at the moment, as you can see, we are doing our lunch walk at the beach. I stayed a little bit behind Elizabeth to make sure that, I have some space and a bit of room to record it properly, and also that she has her own time to relax a bit and walk just by herself. We did about 2.5 kilometers together, chatting and all that stuff, and now we return. There is there is a chance to record it. So I stayed back and I'm recording it while she is just there. You probably see her, and obviously there are two very loud persons walking there that you could probably hear, because I'm sure that this microphone is picking up background noises very well. For today's update, there's not much, because as you can see it's 2 p.m. so about half of the day gone. It's very sunny here in Ireland for the last 1 or 2 days. Well, yesterday was a bit cloudy, but today it's amazing. You can see all the Sligo area, Ben Bulbin and other mountains in the background. Here behind me you might see a little bit of Blue Stack Mountains and obviously Donegal Bay. At the moment we are approaching the peak of low tide, so the ocean is almost as far back as it can be. Today it will start coming back in about an hour. It should already show signs of water or tide coming back in. Today we woke up normally. There was no highlights to this morning. Julian got ready for school and he is at the moment at school, so we have roughly about an hour before picking him up. Myself, I did quite a lot of work in the morning to push a couple of things at work and make sure that they are done on Monday, mainly because I expect to be at least one day off this week, and possibly two. One is Wednesday, because we are going for another kind of stormy day in Dublin. We'll be driving to Dublin with my wife for a visit at the doctor's office, and I'm not sure if we will combine it with the planned checkup of Julian. So we want to check Julian because he's still not feeling the best. He still has some concerns, a bit of weakness, sometimes a bit of sharp pain, but he says that he feels generally better, but there are those small sharp pains happening from time to time. And then also last evening he was a little bit worried again, so I had to assure him that he's monitored and cared about and he'll be fine. But obviously, as a parent and not a doctor, with no devices or knowledge to check him properly, I decided and promised him that we will plan for a drive to preferably first Letterkenny Hospital, because he has a history of that ambulance call from the week before, Friday, about 10 days ago, and so they can follow up on this one. There is record of him being attended to by medics, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. I still believe he's fine and his heart is okay, but we know what life is, especially kids growing rapidly at the age of early teens might develop certain conditions, most of them not life-threatening, but that can be alleviated early if they are identified, instead of kind of growing to the adulthood and having later on troubles and be on medications or requiring surgeries, etc. So that's the intent. He was healthy for 11 years, so I don't expect any major setbacks. But again, I don't want him to be anxious and build on that fear about his heart. I trust that he senses something not necessarily right. It might be the nature of his heart or the moment in time that something starts being visible or felt by him. We have a history of arrhythmia in the family, so these things naturally happen and people live with them. The thing is to make sure that you're aware. So yeah, that's about it for now. It's 11 minutes in. My head is roasted already. My forehead is like a bloody barbecue. Could probably put the egg on top of it and it would sizzle like on a stone. But yeah, I'm just thinking about what else can I give you before I sign off. I don't think I have any special update so far, but if you have any feedback or suggestion what could be improved on this podcast, or maybe what would you like me to talk about and produce content about, then it would be very helpful, because I cannot tell what audience wants or needs without audience speaking up. So I really appreciate if you can provide any feedback in the comments or via messaging over social media. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for spending those 12 and a half minutes with me, probably around 13 before I stop this video. As always, I appreciate your time, your valuable minutes spent with me. I hope you have a great rest of the day, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and stay tuned. See you tomorrow.